I'm back, baby. Last week, I filmed an $80,000 mail day, and I am back today. This is over $100,000 in mail. And I know it looks a little unassuming, but I have a lot of cool cards to share with you guys. This is what I'm buying on a weekly basis. If you have cool cards, DM me on Instagram, DM me on Twitter, and I'll probably buy them. I'm going to progressively scale up into higher and higher end cards. And just like last video, the highest end card is in the Beckett stack. This first small stack, I'm not going to go through all of them just because it'd be a little bit of a bore, are all Topps Home Field Advantage cards, but I got a lot of them in to try to grade into some PSA 10s that aren't as common. We have a Chris Bryant, a Cody Bellinger, a Corey Seager, another Chris Bryant, a Brian Hayes, a Spencer Strider, a Garrett Cole, a Jace Jung Chrome, another Garrett Cole, another Chris Bryant, another Cody Bellinger, I don't know why I bought two of those, an Ezekiel Tovar, a Luis Robert, a Buster Posey, and an Aaron Judge. Again, these are a little bit unexciting. Oh, and that person does not know how to ship. Oh, that's painstaking. Yeah, in general, you don't want to ship in mags, but even if you do ship, you want to have, obviously get a magnetic that ships. That's why it's always safer to ship in top loaders than in mags. And last but not least, an Aaron Judge. So hopefully we'll get some PSA 10s from that. Some of that is just grading play, but of course with the gravy that I kind of like these as well. First card that I have here is a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Finesse from this year's Flawless. I definitely am a fan of what they did for this last year insert subsets. These sell for about $1,500. I'm probably going to resell this as is because I don't know if you can see, there's the Flawless cards are thicker naturally and always a little bit tougher on the grading side. But you want to be cognizant and aware of the sneaky paper loss. I mean, I didn't go in thinking that this was a grading candidate, but there's a little dimple right there that's inside the case, and that could be directly be surface roughness. So this would be an example one that I wouldn't crack to resub. Although if you get a PSA 10 on any Flawless, you could be sitting big. You could be sitting pretty. This one is a grading play and a little bit for my own pleasure as well. I'm working on a LeBron James PSA 10 downtown run, and I want every single one of his downtowns. This is one of his 4 downtowns and one of 3 from Panini 1. These gem pretty easily, although I believe this is presently a Pop 1. But generally, the Panini 1 downtowns gem well. I'm grading this, and if this gem's, I'm keeping it for myself. But I didn't even get into the crazy part. This is an $8,000 card. It may not look like it, but the All-Star variations are short printed. I was going to say this is one of his only Cavaliers downtowns, but he has this Cavalier downtowns in 2016 and 2017. And I think the throwback downtown is just so cool. So this one will go to the grading pile. Next one is a Dalton Connect Eminence patch auto out of 5. Panini completely redid their Eminence product, and you can notice, or compare it to other years, and they reduced the thickness of the cards. I think they went from 180 point to 130 point or something of the like. And despite the gradability, not gradability, the overall design just is so much more eye-catching. This is a Dalton Connect rookie patch auto to 5. Game used. I had to cheat and look at the back. Game used patch auto to 5. And most of these are, this could be the best selling year for Eminence singles. And it's maybe launching from a relatively overlooked set just because the cards are so thick and the designs aren't very saturated to a last year design that's a lot more colorful. And the seal is a little bit more bold as well. I like the design this year. Next, we have another Panini 1 downtown. Panini 1 and 1 downtown. It's a Kyrie Irving All-Star variation. Like the LeBron, it's similarly short printed. And I hope for a PSA 10 on this. I had this Kyrie Irving as being worth about $1,700. So this was a sneaky one. Next, we have a Giannis Antetokounmpo Timeless Moments. This Timeless Moments in general is one of the more unappreciated subsets. And this, low-key, I believe is a $2,800 card. Panini, and yeah, these Timeless Moments don't grade well anyway. But that corner sure is something. The good thing is these are fully sealed. And when they're factory sealed, people don't care too much about the condition. Antetokounmpo's Slam Seals Championship, and you have that nice bold on-card autograph there. Clearly was in the finals, in case you couldn't tell. And, there are some really cool Timeless Moments cards. Given that this is a championship image, this is low-key $3,000 card. Next up, we have a Max Impact Victor Wembanyama. This isn't a crazy one, but the bulk cards are what pay the bills and feed the families. This is worth about $225. And again, Wembanyama doesn't have any licensed autographs, so his patches that in this case isn't even game used but is numbered to 25 do fetch a few bones. Next up is a 2024 Flawless Stephen Curry Diamond to 10. The All-Star Diamonds are more short printed as a base card than the traditional Diamonds and Flawless. All the All-Stars, the highest printed copies of these cards are all out of 10. And this is low-key a nice one. I know I was able to grab this for about $500 before the first comp hit. And then one hit a sale, which will be displayed on the screen. The sale was $830. Excuse me. The sale was $826. So I'll make a nice $100 or two on this one. Next up, we have, again, another one that's rather unassuming, but this is a LeBron James Flawless Patch. These are game used, and even though this is a sneaky 3-color, patch, this is about $1,300 raw. These do not come sealed, to my knowledge. Again, with LeBron not having patch autographs like Wembanyama that are licensed in Panini products, his patches are the best you can get, and if you want a LeBron Flawless patch, you have to suck it up, not have an autograph, and pay 4 figures just for a game used patch. But with that in mind, I spoke last video a lot about the longevity of Flawless, how lots of last year Flawless cards are being kind of scooped up along with mid-year and earlier Flawless. I don't want to tout investment advice because I am just someone who lives and breathes sports cards 24/7, so I can only tell you what I see with my own eyes. But with my own eyes, Flawless is going to be the king of patch autos or maybe even memorabilia cards, period. So if you want to, I know we're in a full bull run right now, but stuff like this never makes for a particularly bad hold. We have another Flawless patch, although Kyrie Irving, to my knowledge, has autographs in the product. We have a Kyrie Irving Flawless Vault Memorabilia patch to 5. This one I paid about $450, I think, for, and there's a sale for $610. But a nice, cool game used card here. The Vault subset, or the Flawless Memorabilia subset particularly, is a little interesting because Panini pumped out so much during the FOTL phase. Not necessarily so much cases, but so many of these patch cards. And you really have to think if Panini just had all this game-used material just stuck in their warehouses, and they figured they might as well make it into product than have it just waste and not be put in the cards. Somewhat related to the earlier talking point, this would not be one that I would grade given that there's the spec of foil there that doesn't seem to be consistent with the design of the card. So this is one that I would keep in the seal. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Take a guess in the comments how much you think this card is worth. Take a guess on how much you think this card is worth. And if you don't know Flawless, then it may not be that intuitive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has patch autographs. Chet Holmgren has patch autographs. The comeback kid inscription is pretty cool. And baseball dual autographs, particularly what comes to mind is Heritage dual autographs for Topps Heritage. They do well, but they don't do that well. But this is a $5,100 card. I don't know how many dual autographs they have, but this is just a testament to the staying power of Flawless, given that both of these players, sure, they have a lot of rookie autographs, but they don't have that many vet autographs. More so, they don't have that much together. So this will stay an iconic pair. This is a $5,000 card, and the important aspect of it from a card standpoint, not only is it just Shai and Chet, but the Flawless brand transcends that. There's been, in this bull run, in this whatever, there's been so much more focus on not just chasing the autographs, which in this case, there are obviously autographs present on this card, but chasing important and unique cards to begin with. And while this may not be the most unique card, this is fundamentally has the aspects of a cool card of two cogs in a championship winning team and the second youngest NBA. Is it the second youngest NBA team to win a championship ever? Regardless, this is the type of card, or rather, cool cards from Flawless, even zooming out a bit, is what's going to stand the test of time, and it's why this is a $5,000 card in the first place. So that's just my thought. If you're not someone who lives and breathes sports cards, I don't think this is a card that intuitively you would think is worth $5,000. Next one is a Reed, and I guess the last for the Flawless stack. I don't know how many more weeks of Flawless stacks I'm going to have. I was blessed last week and blessed this week. This is a Reed Shepherd Flawless Patch Auto to 3. This is obviously a rookie card, and the out of 3s have sponsorship tags. So, yeah, I don't know if that says Memorial Herman, but you can see from that tag right by Reed Shepherd's breast, this is a Memorial Sherman patch from a game used jersey from Reed Shepherd in his rookie year. So there's a lot of these that go for crazy. I don't know if Memorial Sherman is not one of the bigger chases, but the Loves patches that are on the OKC uniforms, the Oklahoma City Thunder uniforms, those go for crazy amounts. Now for some slabs is a Kobe Bryant 1996 Finest PSA 9 without the coating. With the coating, this is about an $1,800 card. Without the coating, this is worth $1,500. And condition matters. This may be a card you had in your binders in the 90s, but it probably wasn't a PSA 9. So, lesson in that. Lesson in that. Keep your cards. The grade matters, even if the card is relatively unassuming, but this still remains one of Kobe's cooler rookie cards. Sticking on with Kobe, we have a game jersey of Kobe Bryant with a Froby image here. This one is a simple and easy $1,100. These sell pretty consistently for $1,100, and this is just a small margin play. Well, I'll make my small margin. This is a little interesting. I can talk about the Roman Anthony a little bit. This is not a card that I think is that fundamentally compelling. Yes, it's a first Bowman. Yes, Roman Anthony is one of the bigger name. I was going to say bigger prospects because he was a prospect for so long, but now bigger rookies in all of baseball, and was going to make a run at AL Rookie of the Year if it weren't for one guy else. If it weren't for someone else, Roman Anthony would probably run away with it. But this is a red sapphire non-auto PSA 10 Roman Anthony. The last sale of this is $3,120. I think the two biggest things that this card doesn't have going for it is that it is a non-true and that it is a sapphire, as well as a non-auto. And while your iconic rookie cards and your mass distributed cards are, of course, non-autos, I think you would get a lot more bang for your buck spending $3,000 on a blue Roman Anthony auto or a refractor Roman Anthony auto, despite it being more highly numbered, than putting $3,000 into a non-true red sapphire, or that's redundant, a non-true red non-auto Roman Anthony. The color match is cool. I think this looks cool. I would allocate $3,000 of funds differently. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me in the comments why. Put a W in the chat and tell me in the comments why you think I'm wrong. But this is a bad use of $3,000. Next up is a CJ Stroud Blue Prism PSA 10. These are exclusive to retail configurations and are unnumbered. No serial number, but the blues and the reds, the true reds and the true blues for Prism, are known and recognized as just retail SSPs. This card is worth $5,700 and peaked a year and a half ago at $11,000, which is just nutty to see and nutty to think about. But these are so low pop, we don't know how CJ Stroud is going to turn out. I'm into this relatively well. I'm into this for $5,100. And I think this is going to be a relatively quick move for me, probably a relatively quick move for me because there is a demonstrated sales history and this is a desirable card. But these are, because of their super short printed nature, because there's red, white, and blue parallels, because there's blue shimmer parallels, no huddle blue, so many other derivatives of blue, these are sometimes a little bit difficult to comp. So I'm glad I got a good deal here, and I will probably maybe pay it forward to whoever my buyer will be, because you got to give. You have a Tyrese Maxey Flawless Patch Auto to 15. This is the horizontal patch auto, and there's so many different derivatives of flawless patch autos. There's the prime patch autos, which are secondary to the true horizontal patch auto. There's star swatches, which are vertical and are more important than your traditional vertical patch autos. And then there's just your vertical patch autograph. So this is a horizontal patch autograph. This is the Ruby Parallel to 15. This has a direct sale at around $5,000. I believe a little under that. I think it's maybe $4,900. And this, with a direct sale, will be an in and out move. So a lot of flawless, but it's something that works for me. But the flawless is something that works for me. Really, anything with direct sales, I'm able to easily pay, buy competitively and sell competitively. And now to, deviate a little bit, this is a Bubble Mew PSA 9. Arguably, I know we're deviating to Pokemon here, arguably the most significant card from the Scarlet and Violet era. It's the Shiny Mew. It's a great image. These are still, I think, $600 in a PSA 9 and $1,500 in a PSA 10. Maybe a little higher on the PSA 10 side. And I like to buy these as PSA 9s, crack them. I haven't been very successful, to be frankly, but it's something that I think from an expected value, from an EV standpoint, something that's within my favor. And I try to view how I attack cards with that mindset of, not necessarily if I'm going to make or lose money on that specific purchase, which I ideally in every situation, I try to make money on my purchases. But if this is something that's statistically likely to result in a profit. And even though, at least when we're going to laws of averages, on the quick flips, that's not something more of concern, but on cracking and grading, or even just grading in general, as long as there's some wins to outweigh the losses, then you try to allocate as much funds as you possibly can. But so I've been proactively buying the Bubble Mews. I haven't had much success in them, so it's made me reevaluate my position. But this is one that came into the mail relatively recently. Or relatively recently, I mean today. You have a Maushold Chinese promo. I don't know the entire lore. I know Pokemon cards are progressively becoming mainstream in China, and I don't know if that's due to an influx of regulation. But Pokemon has intentionally given China many specific illustration promos that are only available in China. This does not have an English equivalent. It's a newly released promo card, but this does not have an English equivalent. And usually non-English cards are less desirable to English cards, but because there is no superior English card, that's what makes this about a $200, $300 card. And the same is true for this Umbreon right below it. Chinese exclusive promo, no English equivalent. Really kind of cool promo, honestly. And these are also both purchased as crack and regrades, and we'll see how I do. And if it doesn't work out, and if it doesn't consistently work out, then that's going to make me reevaluate my strategy. Next up is a crack and resub play, but also a play just on the fundamentals of a card, or of the card. This is a 2022 Paolo Banchero Panini 1 Downtown. I bought this for $2,472. Or yes, my book says I bought this for $2,470. And at the time, this was what the going rate of the 2024 Panini 1 and 1 Downtowns were doing for Paolo's third year. So I figured a rookie PSA 9 at this price for a card that gems relatively well was good value. So I set the public comp here. Next, we have a little bit, going back to the theme earlier, you have 1 and 2 Mega Lucario PSA 9s. Try to be aggressive on the hot product with grading upside. Honestly, again, PSA 9, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but I'll crack these just in case PSA gives me a chance at a 10. And honestly, they're pretty good at their job, so I probably won't get the 10. I haven't had success with it lately. But with these unnumbered cards, you just truly never know if the grader had a bad day. This is a relatively cheap Kobe Bryant. This is about $200. I honestly don't know the significance of it, and I just bought it as a margin play. Here we have a 2024 Prism Caleb Williams manga and a PSA 10. These gem really well, so if you happen to have one that's pack pulled in the great year of 2025, after the product is mostly dead, these generally do grade very well, these Prism mangas and this 2024 year specific color blasts. So this is about a $5,600 card. Next is a CJ Stroud tie-dye Select XRC. This is $3,600 in a PSA 10. I remember when these were about $8,000 entering the 2023 season. Feels like yesterday, and I gemmed one of these myself. But yes, the XRCs, they are released immediately out on Select's release. I believe before even the players are drafted, or right after the players are drafted, and they're inserted as redemptions. You redeem the card, you get a redemption that says QB1, and you get the first quarterback drafted in that year's draft. So there is a little bit of prospecting to it. Stroud was the second quarterback drafted that year. Bryce Young was the first. And of course, by the time the Bryce Young cards came in hand, they were down quite a good bit. But XRCs are still one of the most premier rookie card or pre-rookie card options there is, and are a mainstay of the Panini era hobby. This is a card that has been going utterly insane lately, and I have said before that this is a bad $2,000 card. Now I can say this is a bad $3,000 card. The last sale on this is $3,400. Shohei Ohtani does not have a first logo, first Bowman, but this is his rookie card in Bowman Chrome. So many people treat this as if it's a first Bowman. His 2017, or rather, he has a 2017 Bowman and a Samurai Japan uniform before he signed with the Angels. And that card gets a lot of acclaim as well. But this is his first Bowman in a rookie Angels uniform. So with that rookie card shield, despite no first logo, these are still big money. I do not recommend these as a long-term hold. I think if you want one for yourself, then go for it. Go for it in whatever grade you choose. Now we have a Quentin Johnson Gold Vinyl PSA 10. Raw player who's had a breakout year this year. Broke out a good bit last year, but people were still sleeping on him, and this runs about $1,500. We have a Kenneth Walker rookie manga from 2023 Prism. Case hits are flying in and out. I don't have too much commentary for a card like this, but these move in and out of my hands. They're great cards that generally maintain value. A lot of people like the mangas, especially the 2024 mangas. Those are crazily artistically designed. So this runs about $1,000. We have some generic, I don't want to, undermine these cards, but, this is like a generic Jordan Love Blue auto. This is about $800 give or take. You can't really go wrong with Optic Blue. I don't want to just bore people with the same talking points, but it's a card that's a nice store of value. It's a card that no one's ever going to dislike, and Jordan Love could make a run. I know with football, it's always a game of who is going to win the Super Bowl, which rather sounds intuitive, but it's important to maintain that how skewed skewed leftwards it is towards the top performers. And you should really only buy guys if you think they can make a Super Bowl run. Jordan Love could be one of those guys. Next, we have a 1987 Fleer PSA 9. This is a second-year Michael Jordan Fleer. PSA 10s of this are, I've said right now, big bucks. In a PSA 9, this is about $2,000 to $2,700. There's been a sporadic range on these lately, especially because these are very condition sensitive. But one of Michael Jordan's earliest cards that was in licensed NBA product. Licensed pack pull NBA product, that is. We have a Justin Herbert Silver Prism. It's tough gems in 2020 specifically. This is worth about $1,000. A Patrick Mahomes Color Blast. Again, I know I said this was $100K, but it's just been quick hits. It is another $5,000 card. These are gem pretty easily, but don't sell often. I think the Color Blasts are starting to be hoarded up. And overall, just a good card. We have a Stephen Curry King Snake. I think I had one of these in the $80,000 mail day, but I purchased another one. This has a last sale at about $5,000. And the design is so pretty on these. I don't know if these will maintain their long-term value, but at least for now, they're a great card. And then two small ones to end the stack, and then we get into the big boy stack. At the very least, a big boy card. A big boy card on the big boy stack. But we have an Arch Manning PSA 9 Prism Auto, which is about $400. And a Luka Doncic Blue Velocity PSA 10. These were crazy back in 2020. These transact regularly, frequently, but Luka isn't the hottest player, or at the very least, these retail parallels aren't hot like they used to be anymore. I'd rather have a rare $750 non-rookie than a $750 Blue Velocity PSA 10. I think that's a better allocation of money, even though you're intuitively would think a rookie card would be a better buy. That's not how I think the rarity wins. It may not be in the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren Flawless Dual Auto, which are both non-rookies, and maybe that's not the best use of $5,000, but it's at least in the same spirit that getting a pop who knows how high on a card like this, there's better uses of money for it. Which is prompts the interesting discussion, because now we're getting into the Beckett stack. We have a Patrick Mahomes BGS 9.5 Downrisk paper. This is in gem mint condition. And again, if you want the card, you want one for your collection, then by all means buy it. But there may be better uses of $400 in Patrick Mahomes cards, just because when you buy a card that's so high pop or so easily accessible, you're not able to move as an outlier, and you're forever succumbed to whatever the temperature of a market is, and you don't really get the benefits of those extreme highs either. So the Luka Doncic PSA 10, the Luka Doncic Blue Velocity PSA 10, there's better ways to allocate your money, especially if you're on low budget, than getting a card like this. But if you like the card, you should buy the card. For personal reasons, it's not financial. Next, we have a gold Donruss, not optic, dual downtown of Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix. These are low-key kind of rare. The Donruss papers are not very highly printed. This has a direct sale at $9,000, is one of the bigger cards in the stack. And overall, again, these move kind of sort of in and out, but the base Donruss, not optic downtowns are pretty darn hard to find. I don't know if I'd recommend them as a long-term hold, especially with how the gold to 10s make them a little bit confusing. But the dual downtowns probably aren't printed that much higher than these gold paper downtowns. So just some food for thought there. We have a BGS 10 Pristine, Ronald Acuna Jr., BGS 10. I bought this when the last sale was $1,800, but now this is a $1,500 card. 2017 Bowman is one of the most highly, want to make sure I get my diction right, one of the most 2017 Bowman has one of the best quality controls of any modern release, and there are many Ronald Acuna Jr. BGS 10 Pristine autographs. So these aren't too rare, which is why it only runs a little higher than a PSA 10, but still a cool, unique card of a first Bowman regardless. So this is a 2008 Exquisite Collection LeBron. This is a disgusting patch. It has a sale at $5,300, and just shows that a LeBron autograph of this would probably be $50,000 plus. This is a disgusting game used patch, numbered to 50. And again, it's a game of slow hits for me right now, at least in this context. $5,000 card, and I've had quite a few $5,000 cards in the stack. There's a lesson in that. Next, you have a Rookie Kings Black Pandora, Justin Herbert, BGS 9.5. This runs about $1,800 and a little bit of a boring card. This is a 2024 Contenders Optic JJ McCarthy Gold Auto. These are numbered to 10. Contenders and its lower end product, Contenders Optic, remains one of the best arguably the best product for autograph non-memorabilia autos, partly because of his history with Brady, with Tom Brady having only, or one of his only products being a 2000 Contenders ticket auto. Rookie ticket autos continue to be high demand, and McCarthy and Penix are the only two rookie quarterbacks that have autographs in this product. So again, a gold out of 10 runs about $2,500. Not too shabby. We have three cards left. First is a Patrick Mahomes gold standard patch auto to 25 in a BGS 9. This runs about $4,500. The patch is player worn, so not even game used. But this just shows just how crazy Patrick Mahomes rookie gear has gone in general. It's a game of $5,000 cards here. We have a Ja Morant National Treasures. I promise this last one's pretty big and worth the wait. A Ja Morant horizontal patch auto. Notice the label specifically even indicates horizontal there because there are so many different patch autos. Horizontal patch auto of Ja Morant to 75. This runs about $3,500, and NT and Flawless remain king for patch autographs for basketball. Flawless being game used, National Treasures not being game used, but still pretty crazy that a Ja Morant non-game used patch still fares as much. And the last card, 5-figure card, undeniably. I think this is a $25,000 card, given the Judge's current market. This is a Topps Chrome Aaron Judge BGS 9.5 rookie debut red autograph. These are numbered to 25 as they are part of the Topps Chrome update. And you might initially scoff, this is a rookie debut, but Aaron Judge specifically is known to have an abysmal image on his rookie card. I think there's uniqueness in having a player known for their hitting have a catching image as their rookie card, but collectors undoubtedly prefer the batting image. That's partly why the aforementioned 2018 Bowman Chrome Shohei Ohtani card, his first Bowman in the Angels uniform, is so well desired, is because it's one of his few rookie cards of him hitting. This is one of Aaron Judge's few hitting rookie cards. And although, again, it is a rookie debut, this is a phenomenal image of Aaron Judge. You have the true red autograph. The last sale of this Aaron Judge is $13,400 in a PSA 9. That was in August of 2023. I genuinely think the card is worth more since then, and I don't know what this is going to sell for. I think this is a $25,000 card. I may ship it to auction, but that is the last card of the mail day. So I know I go on these rants. I know I'm relatively new to YouTube. If you have anything that you thought that I did well in this video, or sections of this video, or commentary of this video that you enjoyed, I'll try to make it more consistent. I do want to get into the habit of capturing as much as I can on camera, given that I live a relatively unique lifestyle and that I'm buying and selling so much volume that I get so many cool cards in my hands. It wasn't like I wasn't getting these cards before I started filming YouTube. It's just that I didn't post it on my camera that as much. But I want to be able to share life through my lens with as many people as possible, because I think there's value in that, and I think people may find it interesting, and I think people find the cards in my hand cool. Like I find this Aaron Judge cool, and I would challenge that I live, breathe, and obsess with sports cards, probably in the top 0.0001%. That would be 100,000. So I'm trying to think this through. 0.1% would be 1,000. 0.01% would be 10,000. 0.001%. Yeah, I'd leverage that. If you put 100,000 people in a room, I probably consume more information about sports cards. I buy and sell more sports cards, and I'm more immersed in this world than if you took 100,000 people at random and put them in a room. And I stand by that. So I want to be able to share my perspective as possible. If there's things that you want to see from me, I'm just going to get into the habit of providing more from, I said this earlier, but my lens, whether, literal from a camera standpoint or from an optical standpoint, or more so just my perspective of what I'm buying, selling, trading. I'm going to get into some market thoughts at some point. If you stuck around this long, you're a real one. And like, comment, and subscribe for more. Message me, DM me. I generally am pretty well receptive to replies, or at the very least I try to. If you're direct on YouTube, I'll definitely reply, at least for now. And yeah, thank you for tuning in.